You know, in the very first chapter of the Quran, Surah Al-Fatiha, there's this profound prayer. We ask to be guided on the straight path and not the path of two other groups. One group has earned anger, and the other, well, they're the ones who are lost. Today, we're going to unpack the incredibly deep meaning behind that single word for lost, Dalalah.
But what does it really mean to go astray? I mean, is it some kind of dramatic sudden fall from grace, a single catastrophic wrong turn? Or is it something quieter, something slower, and maybe, just maybe, a lot more dangerous because you might not even notice it's happening?
And that, right there, is the heart of what we're digging into today. This concept of Dalalah, it's not about one big mistake. It's about a gradual drifting. It's a slow, almost invisible process of just wandering away from a path that was once clear. It's a process, not a single instantaneous event.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at why it's more than just a simple mistake. Then, we'll pinpoint where it all begins, in the mind. After that, we'll see how it spreads, what the ultimate consequence is, and finally, what our own responsibility is in all of this.
All right, first up, Dalalah is way more than just a mistake. We're not talking about a single stumble here. We're talking about a continuous state, a whole trajectory of being lost.
What's so fascinating is the focus on movement. See, Dalalah isn't about standing still in the wrong place. It's about actively wandering, being in motion, but having absolutely no direction. It's like you're lost in a thick fog, walking and walking, but getting nowhere. It's a dynamic drift.
And to really get it, you have to see what it's contrasted with. The Quran points out two groups to avoid. The first, al-maghdub, are those who earned anger. The key here is they know the truth, but they willfully, knowingly reject it. It's an act of pure intellectual dishonesty. But the second group, Dwaleen, the ones in the state of Dalal, they wander away, but it's not from malice, it's from a place of ignorance or confusion or just not paying attention.
And this brings us to such a crucial point. While this path of being lost is often unintentional, even tragic, it's not a permanent get-out-of-jail-free card. The responsibility to seek out the truth, to investigate, to try and find that right path, that accountability still applies.
Okay, so if Dalalah isn't some malicious choice, where does it even start? Well, it doesn't begin with our actions, it begins in our minds. It starts in the world of knowing and understanding.
The first root cause is something called jahala, or ignorance. But, and this is a big but, this isn't an innocent, oh, I just didn't know kind of thing. This is the ignorance that comes from neglecting your duty to learn. Think about it. Someone owns a copy of the Quran their whole life, but never once opens it to read. The truth is right there, available, but the effort to seek it is completely missing. And building right on top of that is ghafla, or heedlessness. This is about knowing you have a responsibility, but you just ignore it. The source material gives this amazing analogy. Imagine you're on a journey with a connecting flight. You land, you get off the plane, and then it hits you, you have absolutely no idea where to go next. You never bothered to check the gate, the time, nothing. That state of being totally unprepared because you just weren't paying attention, that's ghafla. So you can see how it all pieces together, right? This drift into Dalalah starts with these wrong turns in our thinking, not seeking knowledge, ignoring our duties, getting tangled up in confusion, and maybe the biggest one, just blindly following others without ever checking for ourselves. The actions come later, the corruption of our understanding comes first.
So if this all starts in the mind, how on earth does it become such a massive, widespread problem? Well, that brings us to the social engine that really drives this thing forward.
And the source material is crystal clear on this. Most people who are lost didn't just invent their own way of getting lost. No, they were misled by other people. They put their trust in the wrong place.
And you can see the cycle pretty clearly. It starts with leaders or movements or ideologies offering up ideas, but without any real verification. Then, the followers start to mistake their loyalty to the group for loyalty to the truth. And before you know it, what the majority thinks becomes confused with what's actually correct.
This just highlights a huge idea. Dalalah is rarely an isolated individual choice. It's transmitted socially. It spreads through our communities, through beliefs we inherit, and through that powerful magnetic pull of just following the crowd.
Okay, so we've seen how it starts and how it spreads. But what happens when this intellectual drift and social pressure reaches its final destination? This is where we talk about the ultimate consequence, completely forgetting your compass.
The source explains that the deepest, most profound form of Dalalah is forgetting God.
And we're not talking about an intellectual slip-up, like forgetting a fact for a test. This is existential. When you forget the source of all guidance, you forget your own purpose, you forget your moral limits, and you forget that there are ultimate consequences for your actions.
Here's another incredible metaphor from the source. It's like you're driving on a highway, you take a wrong exit, and you just keep driving for miles and miles before you even realize your mistake. But by then, there's no U-turn in sight, no easy way back. You're just lost, moving further and further in the wrong direction.
And this gets to the real meaning of spiritual darkness. It's not that the light of truth has suddenly vanished. It's that you've lost your orientation to it. You don't know which way is north anymore. The light might be there, but you have no idea how to find it. You're completely disoriented.
So that brings us to our final section. Knowing all of this, what does it actually mean when we pray to be protected from this state? Well, it's not a passive plea. It's an active pledge of responsibility.
That prayer is not about outsourcing the work. It's not us saying, okay, God, you handle it. It's your job to keep me straight. No, it's a declaration. It's us saying, I am personally committing myself to fighting my own ignorance. I am pledging to investigate and not just follow blindly. And I'm asking for your help in my struggle.
So really, that prayer is meant to be a constant reminder of our own role in this. It's like a personal mission statement that we repeat every single day, reminding ourselves that staying on the right path requires continuous, active effort and vigilance.
And that is the powerful conclusion to all of this. We ask for divine help, absolutely, but that help doesn't replace our own effort. Divine aid comes to support our struggle, not to make that struggle unnecessary.
So we'll leave you with this to think about. If avoiding this gradual, tragic drift into the lull is an active, ongoing fight against our own ignorance and our own heedlessness, where does that struggle begin for you?